Now for today, I'm going to be working on questions 13 through 16. The instruction says find the value or values, okay? So that means that some of my questions might have one or two answers. So find the value or values of the zero or zeros. I call it zero when there's only one answer, or the zeros when there's two answers. So basically, we're going to find the value or values of the zeros. What does that really mean? Well, kind of like what we did, the way we finished last week. The only thing is that what I mean here it is, notice how I wrote my y now. Instead of f of x, I wrote it as a y. What I mean here it is, let's replace that with a zero. Whether f of x or y, however I'm calling it, let the number before the equal sign, the letter before the equal sign, let me replace that with a zero. So question number 13, let me rewrite this as 0 is equal to negative 2x plus 2 squared plus 98. I could have called it f of x like we did last week, and I would have just said f of x equals 0. Now, this is a very, very important process. Once we talk about graphing, later on, we're going to graph our functions here. Once we talk about graphing, the zeros are important points. So this is one way we're going to figure them out. Let's solve for x here. So what I'm going to do first is plus 98. Let me move it to the other side as a minus 98. 0 minus 98 is a negative 98. So I have that negative 98 is equal to negative 2 times the quantity x plus 2 all squared. Let me divide by the number in front of the parentheses. So let me divide both sides by a negative 2 because I'm trying to get rid of this. Negative 98 divided by negative 2. I know negative divided by negative is positive. 98 divided by 2 is 49. So we have that 49. It's equal to the quantity x plus 2 squared. I have the parenthesis square by itself, right? So this is when I do my square root. So I'm going to get plus or minus 7, because the square root of 49 is positive or negative 7. So plus or minus 7, it's equal to x plus 2. And then this plus 2, I'm going to move it to the other side as a minus 2. I see my answer here. Or I see a way I'm going to get my answer or answers. I'm going to have negative 2 minus 7, and my other answer is going to be negative 2 plus 7. All right, negative 2 minus 7 happens to be negative 9. Negative 2 plus 7 happens to be 5. So my answers are negative 9 and 5. Don't forget, your numbers have to be listed from small to large. And don't forget the word and in between the two numbers. Don't forget that there's a space that separates the numbers and the letter and. I mean the word and. Now let's take a look at number 14. So I'm going to rewrite my equation, but instead of a y, I'm going to write this as a 0. So I'm going to write 0 equals 5x minus 2 all squared minus 5. So to begin with, this minus 5, I move it over here as a plus 5. So that gives me 5. It's equal to 5 times x minus 2 all squared. Right, on the left side of the equal sign. Oh, I forgot to separate my sides. Let me do that. On the left side of my equal sign, 0 plus 5, that's where I got the 5. Now let me divide everything by 5, because I'm basically dividing by the number in front of the x. Now I know that 5 divided by 5 is 1. This is equal to x minus 2 all squared. Because I have the parentheses squared already, this is when I'm going to do my square root. I know the square root of 1 is positive or negative 1. Now here on the right side, I have x minus 2. This minus 2, this negative 2, I'm going to move it to the left side as a positive 2. Don't forget to switch the sign. I already see what I'm going to need for my answer or answers, because sometimes it might give me 1 or 2 answers. So here to have one way, I'm going to do 2 minus 1. And my other answer is going to be 2 plus 1. I know 2 minus 1 is 1. I know 2 plus 1 is 3. So my answers are 1 and 3. Let's take a look at number 15. Let me rewrite this as 0 is equal to x squared minus 81. Now let me separate everything through my equal sign. This minus 81, I'm going to move it to the other side as a plus 81. I know 0 plus 81 is 81, so I have that 81 is equal to x squared. Oh, I don't have parentheses now. Good, that's fine. I have the x squared by itself, so to get rid of the square, I'm going to do the square root. I know the square root of 81 is positive or negative 9. The square root of x squared is x. Remember, the square root and the square cancel each other out. So x is equal to positive or negative 9. I see it right there. Okay, so I'm going to write my answer is going to be negative 9 and 9. I still had two values on this one, right? Negative 9 and positive 9. Let's take a look at question number 16. Let me start by writing 0 is equal to 19 times x minus 9 all squared. I don't see a plus or minus at the end, right? So that's good. I don't have to deal with that. The cool thing is here, I have to get rid of the 19. It is outside of the parentheses. It's right next to the parentheses. So that means times. The opposite of times is divide. So let me divide by 19. So I get rid of that. Or let me separate my sides to the equal side. Okay. On the left side, 0 divided by 19, that's 0. And here I have the quantity x minus 9 squared. The way I'm going to get rid of the square, because I have the parentheses square already, I'm going to do the square root. The square root of 0, that's 0. But we can even write it right now as plus or minus 0. And here, x minus 9. And this minus 9, I'm going to cancel it out. This negative 9, I'm going to write it on the other side as a positive 9. And I see how I'm going to solve for this. I can go 9 minus 0, and I can go 9 plus 0. 9 minus 0 is 9. 9 plus 0 is also 9. I'm not going to say 9 and 9. It's the same number. So this case, I only have one solution. 9. Let me zoom out so you guys can see what we did today.